Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. Finally, the time has come when we will have our discussion on the yearly predictions for the upcoming year of 2022 for all the Aquarius Ascendant natives. So friends, before we will start our discussion, it's my humble request that I have also uploaded the same yearly prediction video on my channel from the perspective of numerology as well. So if you haven't watched that video, it's my humble request to watch that video as well, because it is definitely going to give you this idea, this insight that how the planetary vibration is going to be impacting, influencing all of us on a collective level. And friends, before we will start our discussion exclusively to your ascendant, we will first pray to Lord Ganesha, who is the Hindu god of good beginnings, auspiciousness, good omens, and who is the remover of obstacles. So Om Vakratun Mahakai Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kurumadeva Sarvkareshu Sarvada. O Lord Ganesha, who has got a huge body, who has got a curved elephant trunk, who has got the brilliance of the billion of suns, please remove all the obstacles from my endeavors. So friends, first we will start with the kind of divination, the kind of prophecy which I have received from tarot, which is definitely going to be influencing as a part of the theme for next year for all of you guys. So friends, the major arcana card which I received as a part of the divination for you guys came out to be the card of the Hermit. So friends, it is a very potent, it is a very empowered card which also has got a strong mystical, strong spiritual connotation as well. So this could be decoded in a way that good advice, good counsel, good guidance will definitely shower on you this year. The beauty of this card is that friends, let's say for example, for long you have been looking out for the right set of direction, right path for you. So this year your search might come to a very successful and successful conclusion as well. As you can see friends over here, that within the laltane of this card which this person is holding, you can fairly see the seal of wisdom. So that also attach the signification of this major arcana card to spiritual insights and good prophecy in the spiritual realm as well. So for any sort of pilgrimage, any sort of religious or spiritual austerity, prophetic dreams, intuition, omens, nature guiding you, putting you on the right path. So from all of those perspectives, the Hermit card is actually going to be creating very good energy for all of you guys. Friends, it's my humble request, tarot is a very spiritual science. So for all of those people who do not have any idea about the tarot major arcana card, so it's my request to do a thorough research on this card, because I'm very confident that this card and the theme represented by this card is definitely going to be impacting and influencing your complete next year. So okay friends, now after discussing the prophecy and the kind of divination which I received for all of you guys, now we will shift to the next section of the astrology. So friends, to begin with, now first I'm going to tell you that how the slow moving planets are going to be impacting or influencing your complete next year. So friends, the first major transit which we will discuss is definitely going to be of the transit of Rahu and Ketu, because next year Rahu and Ketu are going to be changing the signs. So Rahu, which is currently transiting in the sign of Taurus, so in the next year, in the month of at the end of April and the beginning of the May, Rahu will finally make a foray into your third house, and Ketu will shift from your 10th house and it is going to enter your 9th house. So trust me friends, this can be seen as one of the best house placement for Rahu and Ketu to be placed in. Now when we talk about Rahu's presence or its impact in your third house, so all the signification of the third house, when we talk about taking initiative, being little bit materialistic or opportunistic, or being wise enough to encash on any opportunity, making use of your circle of influence with your valor, with your courage, with your intuitiveness, your capacity to create some sort of opportunity. So the presence and the influence of Rahu in your third house is definitely going to enhance your ambition, your confidence, and all of your, like, in whichever area of life you are working hard, the Rahu's involvement or its presence in the third house can actually enhance those prospects, can give you new insights in that specific area of your life. And friends, definitely there couldn't be any better placement for Ketu other than either in the 9th house or in the 12th house. So this placement of Ketu in the 9th house is actually going to be creating some very good energy in the form of that the guidance and people of strong spiritual significance are definitely going to be entering your life. The spiritual guidance which you can receive, possibility of that is going to be very high next year. Now, whether in the form of, like, you might consider taking some pilgrimages, being a part of some spiritual retreat. So from all of those perspectives, the Ketu's influence in your 9th house is going to be creating a very positive energy. And during this time, friends, I am very much sure that a lot many Aquarius Ascendant native might also start taking interest in their ancestry, in their family name, in their family contribution. So from all of those perspectives, and this is going to be a very auspicious and prime time to propitiate your Kul Devtas. So, like, for example, many times I have seen this thing that like people who have had a humble beginning, or they have been raised in a very traditional, in a very ritualistic environment, but because of their nature of work or their professional accomplishment or undertakings, people settle down in overseas land, in foreign countries, and they completely cut down their ties with their roots. So I would say this is a very beneficial time for you to re-establish that connection, because you do not even realize whatsoever and wheresoever we are currently in this lifetime, a lot of contribution has been given by our parental ties, by our ancestors as well. Their blessings can be seen as one of the good way of getting ahead in the life, or a smooth progress in the life. So I would say Ketu's presence ever since in the month of May next year, once Ketu is going to enter your 9th house, it is going to be a very auspicious time for undertaking any pilgrimages, any spiritual retreat, and propitiating either being respectful to your father or propitiating your family gods or your Kul Devta or Kul Devis. Now friends, if you want to understand the influence of Jupiter this year, so definitely friends, for all the Aquarius Ascendant native, Jupiter is going to be a harbinger of very good news for all of you guys, because you have to understand this thing that Jupiter holds the key to your financial gain. Because definitely when we talk about anything to do with either opportunity or financial gain, it is being represented by two houses, 11th house and the 2nd house. So in your case, both of these houses are being ruled by the planet Jupiter itself. So November of this year, like November of 2021, Jupiter will enter your 1st house, and next year at the end of the April, beginning of the May of 2022, Jupiter will transit to your 2nd house. So I am very confident that this year your financial state is definitely going to grow and enhance. Like for all those people who are connected in, whether you have your own business, you work in the fields of anything to do with banking, trading, teaching, any field, this transit of Jupiter is definitely going to open up the door of financial gains and opportunity for all of you guys. So regarding the influence of Jupiter in your 2nd house is going to be creating some very good energy, like encashing on your contacts, your social influence, like friends, family members, everyone will contribute towards your healthy financial development, progress and growth next year. So from all of those perspectives, friends, the transit of Jupiter and its influence, its travel from your 1st house moving to your 2nd house is going to be creating some very good energy. And not only that, friends, even from the second house. Jupiter is going to be aspecting all the sensitive houses, like the way Jupiter is going to be transiting in the second house, but it is going to be aspecting your sixth house. It is definitely going to make you empowered enough, or it is going to subdue all of the opposition, all of your enemies. Concerns of debts can also be resolved. It is also going to be aspecting your 8th house, so it is definitely going to restrain any unpredictable unpleasing incidents, or entanglement in any scandalous situation. So all those possibilities are going to come down. And lastly friends, with Jupiter's aspect in your 10th house, the house of your profession, your career, so even the professional endeavors are actually going to be very smooth, very progressive for you this year. So that is something friends which I wanted to say from the perspective of the role which Jupiter is going to be playing in your life. And lastly friends, and the most important, your ascendant lord, which is the planet Saturn. Now friends, try to understand and look at the chemistry over here. Now what is going to be happening for you guys? The beauty over here is that not only the excess of Rahu and Ketu is going to be very empowered, but along with that, see, we all want our finances to enhance. So Jupiter, which is a significator of finances, is sitting in the house of finance, enhancing it, validating it, promising it. We all want our unwanted expenses to go down. So Saturn, which is a significator of losses, is going to be, and it is already empowered in your 12th house. So a right benefic suited planet is enhancing, sitting in the right house of your finances, and right well suited planet is depreciating, decreasing your expenses, your losses. So from all of those perspective friends, next year is actually going to be creating some very good energy for you guys, whether in the form of spiritual guidance, whether in the form of taking right set of initiative, thinking out of the box, financial gains, and decrease in your expenses. So this is a combined cumulative effect of slow moving planets next year for you. And friends, like the way I was about to talk about Saturn's influence in your 12th house, so try to understand this thing friends. Like definitely Saturn's transit can be seen as the hand of destiny. Wheresoever it transit in your in whichever house in your chart, life's test and trials happens on that house. Saturn slows down the prospects of that house, but it actually gives you the lessons and morals associated with that house. So I have already explained this thing, that because of the influence of both the spiritual planets like Ketu and Saturn impacting and influencing your spiritual houses, your religious austerity houses, next year is going to be very prominent for planning any pilgrimages, any spiritual retreats. The second thing is that friends, like the way we say this thing, that Saturn's influence on the 12th house is all about reflecting on your life with a very detached perspective. Because what happens is that whenever Saturn transit the 12th house, so before that or during the whole journey of Saturn, starting from your first house, second house, third house, reaching and covering all till the 11th house, all the experiences, activities, thoughts, desires, karmas, actions done by you, so the result of that at the end manifest at the time when Saturn is going to be transiting in your 12th house. And not only that, this is going to be a time when Saturn actually dissolves, it actually subdues all the kind of ambition, priorities, and outlook towards life and orientation with which you have been living so far. So all those readjustment in your attitude, all those habits which needs to be changed, which might be self-afflicting for you. So this transit of Saturn in your 12th house can be seen as a very good energy in restructuring your life, getting rid of all those things, all those activities, all those habits which might be draining you of your energy, or which might be creating hindrance in your progress in this lifetime. And like the way it is very obvious, 12th house, which has to do with spirituality, which has to do with meditation, with yoga, service. So I would say, whether in the form of taking interest in humanitarian service, or whether in the form of taking interest in embracing the mystical, spiritual side of the universe. So this influence of Saturn in your 12th house can be seen as a very good indicator for any sort of spiritual progress and growth in this lifetime. And let's say friends, just because in your case, like for all the Aquarius Ascendant native, whether you accept it or not, but you are born to have a strong grip in the matter of the 12th house, because it's your ascendant only which has got the rulership of the same house of your 12th house. So because of which inherently you are born with the talent. It all comes down to structuring and strategizing and positioning your energies, aligning your energies in the right direction. So I would say friends, for any sort of 12th house related matters as well. Now this could be foreign settlement, this could be about any sort of foreign travels, this could be planning your studies, your post graduation in foreign universities. So all the 12th house related matters are actually going to benefit you. Friends, try to understand this thing, that during this whole year Saturn was in the Capricorn sign, but it was in the Shravan Nakshatra. Shravan Nakshatra is all about embracing the guidance and the wisdom. But when we talk about actual movement, so I would say friends that next year, from the month of March onwards, Saturn completely is going to be transiting in the Dhanishta Nakshatra only. Dhanishta, which has to do with doing things in larger than life format. With Dhanishta, there is a lot of exuberance, lot of accolades, which fulfillment energy is also attached. Dhanishta is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet of energy, determination and desire, which is planet Mars. So because of which that friends, all the 12th house related matters, if they are straight away getting qualified in your case, so you might be able to gain authority, power in all those areas of your life. So that is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of the overall combined planetary influence contribution energies to you guys. Now we will start taking up all areas of your life by scrutinizing specifically exclusively all the houses, that what kind of results we can anticipate next year pertaining to the matters of those houses. So friends, beginning with your first house. So friends, as you know this thing, that first house is definitely going to tell us about your overall growth and progress next year. So because of the energies of the Hermit card, this is a card which is definitely going to be overpowering and influencing the complete endeavors of your life next year. So with the energy of Hermit, one thing which I am very confident here is that you will be guided well next year. So remain very intuitive, remain very receptive. The way nature, the way omens, the way circumstances, the way people of authority and spiritual significance are guiding you. So remain very receptive rather than acting very adamant, and never ever try to be egoistic. So try to be very receptive enough towards how circumstances and omens are guiding you. And lastly friends, definitely regarding the matters of your first house, so it is a very very good and blessed year for you guys, where your gains will enhance and expenses will go down, so which is actually going to be creating some very good energy for all of you guys. Now friends, moving to the prospects of your second house. So friends, just because of the influence of Jupiter in your second house, which is going to enter in the month of May. So I would say from the month of May onwards next year, for any of the financial prospect, this year of 2022 is going to be creating some very positive energy for you guys. Your social influence, your public image is definitely going to enhance next year. And the beauty of the Jupiter's influence in the second house is that here we are not talking about manipulation, here we are not talking about any sort of energy of deception. Even when you are going to open your mouth, people can actually get mesmerized because the kind of wisdom, the kind of vision and ideation which you hold. So I would say friends, I would say that if finances is utmost area of concern for you in whichever stage of life you are in. So I would say next year onwards, the moment Jupiter is going to enter your, like from the April month onwards, I would say all the Jupiterian remedies and austerities which you can find out, which is well suited and acceptable basis your belief, basis your culture, basis your religion, I would say start undertaking them, start doing them. But the second house matters for you guys, looks like to be very promising, very encouraging next year for all the Aquarius Ascendant natives. Now friends, moving to your third house. So friends, as you know that from the month of May onwards, once Rahu and Ketu are going to change signs and enter your third house. So Rahu's influence in the third house in any way, it is considered as one of the best placement for Rahu to be placed in. But friends, try to understand this thing that although Aquarius Ascendant native tend to be very innocent, very humanitarian, very naive, but the problem is that the Aries is a very impulsive, it is a very reckless energy. And next year, now what is going to be happening is that Mars is also going to be taking a curve. Basis your chart, starting from your 10th house and coming to your 4th house. So I would say it is and Rahu's influence in the Aries sign is all about impulse, it's all about energy. So the only one area of life where you have to remain watchful is that try not to be over the top impulsive. And like the way I have already said this thing, with the influence of Jupiter in your second house, the problem over here is that whenever Rahu is in the third house, it creates a hurdle, it creates a blockage in being receptive to the advice of the people. So I would say try not to be on the negative side of Rahu's influence in the third house, like recklessness, over the top impulsive behavior, creating blockage in being receptive towards the advice of other people. So only if you can make a healthy balance in the matters of the third house, I would say Rahu is definitely going to enhance the prospects of your ambition, your confidence, new opportunities, new perspective, new way of looking at things, out of the box way of executing and fulfilling your duties, your responsibilities. So I would say friends, the energy of third house Rahu is very positive for you guys, and I would say that you might also make some new friends, people of different culture, different belief, different lifestyle. So lot of short journeys, lot of new contacts, a new way of looking at things, new initiative for all those people in whose case any of the concerns of media, social media, anything to do with fame, if all those prospects are getting qualified in your case, trust me friends, if you are working in media as a journalist, as a writer, as a director, as a filmmaker, so this year the energy of Rahu in your third house is actually going to very positive, very auspicious for all of you guys. I always say this thing friends, that Rahu is a demon's head. Do not try to play with it, do not try to act smart with it in the form of undertaking any of those remedies like excessive smoking or alcohol or all those kind of remedies which might distort the signification of Rahu in your third house. It is a blessing. Just try to encash on by following the sattvic way of appeasing the energy of Rahu and encashing on the best out of it. Now friends, moving ahead, now regarding the matters of your fourth house. So friends, as you know that your fourth house is being ruled by the planet Venus. So Venus, which in your case is a very important planet because it is the Yoga Karaka planet for you guys because of the rulership of your fourth house and your ninth house. So I would say friends, certain months, like for example the month of March, when your your fourth house lord is going to be present in the 12th house, and it is going to be conjunct with Saturn over there. So that is going to be a time when some sort of spiritual retreat, some sort of pilgrimage, foreign travels might take place. Then friends, the month of May, when your fourth house lord and the ninth house lord is going to be exalted in the month of May and conjunct with Jupiter as well. So I would say friends, like for any of the concerns of fourth house related matters, there can be sudden stupendous financial gain as well. So like for example, if in your case fourth house related prospects are straight away getting qualified, your part of livelihood is connected with the fourth house, you deal with luxury goods, you deal with anything to do with luxury, car, construction, real estate, conveniences. So I would say the month of May can actually create some new opportunity, some new financial gains in a sudden unpredictable way might happen for you guys. Now friends, the month of July is definitely going to be promising when your fourth house lord is going to be empowered. So I would say the month of July is going to be creating some very good energy where for all those people who are single, they might run into someone, some like-minded person, love, romance can brew up. And along with that, some auspicious domestic events in your family can also take place. Anything to do with house renovation, booking a house, buying an apartment, all those energies can also take place in the month of July when the energy of your fourth house lord is going to be very auspicious for you guys. And lastly friends, the month of November, when your fourth house lord is going to be empowered in the ninth house. So I would say friends, the month of November can be seen as a very positive time when your fourth house lord is going to be strong in your ninth house. So luck is definitely going to support you in the month of November. So any area of life where you are working hard and you are awaiting that hand of destiny or support of luck and things taking a positive leap because of the support of luck, so I would say the month of November is the time to remain in that lookout. And some sort of pilgrimages, travels, foreign travels can also take place in the month of November. So friends, the months of March, May, July, November can be seen as very emotionally fulfilling. Any of your desires, your wishes can also get fulfilled during these said months. Now friends, moving to the prospects of your fifth house. So friends, as you can see that your fifth house and your eighth house is being ruled by the planet of discriminatory intelligence, which is the planet Mercury. So whether you are a student, you are an artist, you are a creative person, you are engaged in any sort of speculative nature of work. So I would say friends, certain months to begin with, you will start your new year with, because in the month of January and February, your fifth house lord is going to be empowered in the 12th house connected with Saturn over there, which is also your ascendant lord. So I would say for all those people in whose case anything to do with the foreign land, foreign education is getting qualified, so your new year might begin with some auspicious positive development in the matters of your fifth house, if it is also getting connected with the prospects of foreign land or anything to do with spirituality and all. And next friends, the month of March is also going to be very promising for you guys when your fifth house lord is going to be empowered in your first house. So you will be respected because of your knowledge, because of your good decision making. And I would say friends, the month of July is also going to be very promising for you when your fifth house lord is going to be empowered in the fifth house itself. And the months of September, October can be seen as very promising for some sudden development as well, because that time your fifth house lord is going to be exalted in your eighth house. So that is going to be a time when for all those people in whose case you and your occupation, your livelihood, your aspiration are straight away connected with the fifth house related matters. You work in films, television, you are an artist, you are a student. Some positive development in a very unpredictable way might develop, might take place. Some opportunity suddenly might come to you, specifically in the months of September and October as well. So friends, I would say that regarding and pertaining to the matters of your fifth house, the months of January, February, March, July, September, October and November is going to be creating some very positive energy for all the Aquarius Ascendant natives. Moving to your 6th house, friends. So friends, as you can see over here that your 6th house is going to be aspected by both Jupiter and Saturn next year. So Saturn is going to be aspecting your 6th house throughout the year, and Jupiter, once in the month of May, it is going to enter your 2nd house. It will also start aspecting your 6th house as well. So friends, try to understand this thing. The double aspect of Jupiter and Saturn always enhance the prospects of the house which they aspect. Not only they enhance the prospects, but also they make you very wise and very sagacious enough to take right set of contemplative decisions pertaining to the matters of that house. So I would say, friends, I'm not seeing you guys getting overwhelmed because of any threats on the account of enemies, and at the same time any of the concerns of debts or financial troubles or miseries can also get dissipated. You will be able to command the respect of all those people who work under you, and even in your daily work life, the prospects of respect, command and good leadership is definitely going to help you throughout the next year. Moving ahead, friends, now regarding the matters of your 7th house. So friends, as you can see over here that Jupiter in the month of November of 2021, it is going to enter the sign of Aquarius, and till the month of the end of the April next year of 2022, it is going to be transiting in your 1st house only, and afterwards it is going to move to your 2nd house. So during the 1st quarter of the next year, Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 7th house with its 7th aspect. And friends, afterwards, although Jupiter is going to shift to the 2nd house, but try to understand this thing that 2nd house also has to do with our values, with all those people, all those values which are very close, very dear and very near to us. So I would say, friends, regarding the prospects of marriage, the prospects of the 7th house, whether it's about marriage, your public image, or whether it's about your prospects of commercial activities, your financial undertakings, your business dealings, I would say the year seems to be very promising for you, specifically for the prospects of marriage. And friends, a good part for the next year is that because of the transit of the planets, it is definitely going to put you in a position of stability, in a position of power, in a position of financial abundance. Because many times what happens is that there are those people who want to tie the knot, they want to get married, but this prospects of not financially settled or stable keeps on pinning them down. But because of the planetary combined influence next year for all of you guys, the year seems to be promising, whether in the form of your financial growth or whether in the form of settling down with the right person. So friends, marriage can materialize next year. All the moves which you will make next year will be very discreetly made by you, which is also creating some very good energy. And along with that, friends, your public image will definitely enhance next year. I would say, friends, just because there are certain months where you have to be careful, because okay, the month of January, so when your 7th house lord is going to be transiting in your 11th house, so that is going to be time when your public image can enhance, because that is going to be time when even Mars is going to be in an empowered state in your 10th house. But friends, when we talk about specifically the months of April and May, from the mid of the April reaching till the mid of the May, when your 7th house lord is going to be exalted in your 3rd house. But this year and this time, the only catch is that it is going to be conjunct with Rahu as well. So during that time, you have to actually give attention to first the kind of yogas you have in your chart, and what kind of dasha you will be going through that time. So let's say, for example, if your yogas in your chart protects you, protects your public image, your occupation, your livelihood, and even the dasha which you will be running through during the months of April, May, it is going to be of exalted planet, dignified planet, then it is a good sign. But let's say, for example, if in your case, for example, you are a Scorpio ascendant person, your 10th house lord is debilitated in the 12th house, and along with that you are going through the dasha of the same debilitated planet, under dasha of the same debilitated planet. So then in those kind of situation, imagine once sun is going to get conjunct with Rahu, sun is exalted in your 6th house, so you are straight away heading in some sort of conflict, some sort of dispute. So it all comes down to, friends, what kind of dasha, what kind of yogas you have in your chart. But I would say, friends, from the mid of the April to the mid of the May is going to be a very explosively sensitive time. Basis your yoga, basis your dasha, sudden enhancement in your public image, new opportunity, new gains, your content going viral, those things can also materialize. Or in a negative state, if your 7th house lord is afflicted, you are going through vulnerable dasha, some sort of entanglement in dispute, in conflict, in scandals because of your own impulsive decision, because of your own greed can also take place. So try to remain a bit cautious, and if you are falling in the category of vulnerability, so I would say do proper remedies during the time and during the months of April and May. And lastly, friends, the months of August and September is also going to be very promising for you, when your 7th house lord is going to be empowered in that house only. So during that time, some sort of titles, opportunities, enhancement in your public image, some new opportunity in your commercial activities can also take place. So the months you will start your new year with some positivity coming out of the 7th house related matters. April and May is going to be very volatile, very sensitive time, and the months of August and September can actually enhance your public image next year. Moving ahead, friends, now if you want to understand the prospects of your 8th house, so friends, as you can see over here that Jupiter from the month of May, it is going to be aspecting your 8th house. So friends, I would say that if in your case 8th house related prospects are straight away getting qualified, you work in insurance, research, revenue, you are a surgeon, you are a doctor, so I would say the prospects of 8th house is definitely going to benefit you. So I'm not seeing you guys being vulnerable towards the unpredictability, entanglement in controversy, scandals. So next year is not going to be creating that energy, making you vulnerable regarding the negative side of the prospects of the 8th house. Rather, friends, because of the strong grip of Saturn in your 12th house and Ketu's influence in your 9th house, I would say spiritual progress definitely going to take place coming out of the matters of the 8th house next year for all of you guys. Moving ahead, friends, now regarding the matters of the 9th house. So friends, as you can see that Ketu is going to enter your 9th house, which is actually going to churn up the prospects of your 9th house. So I would say, friends, that if you have been a victim of luck not supporting you, irrespective of all of your hard work, all of your religious austerities, so trust me, the Ketu's influence, which is the most extreme force out of all the planetary vibrations and energies, its influence, its entry in your 9th house can actually churn up the prospects of your luck and fortune as well. So I would say, friends, definitely remain very positive and remain open and welcoming towards any sort of pilgrimages, any sort of religious or spiritual retreat next year. You will attract people of good spiritual stature next year. Their guidance, their preaching is definitely going to help you, guide you, put you in the right direction. And along with that, friends, like the way I have already said this thing, that if you have been a victim of that luck, is not supporting you, helping you. So all those prospects can definitely churned up next year, and you can actually feel that the hand of destiny or luck, the support of luck is helping you progress in any area of the life. I would say friends, for all the 9th house related matters, if in your case you are going through your higher studies or any of the concerns of visa or foreign travels, your business is of anything to do with import, export, you are working in the fields of judiciary, in the fields of law, so I would say positive result can be anticipated. But friends, truth to be told, and I do not want to give you any vague idea, whenever we talk about anything to do with either Saturn or Ketu, it is all about your own deeds. So if you have done good deeds and you have been very law abiding, very religious person, so the result of your good deeds will manifest, will bloom. But let's say for example, if your deeds in itself are very atrocious, so remain very cautious, remain watchful, and do the remedies specifically connected with either Ketu or propitiating Lord Ganesha to get the best out of the 9th house related matters. Now friends, moving ahead, now regarding the matters of your 10th house. So friends, in your case, Mars is a planet which has got the department of making you empowered enough to create a difference because of your actions, because of your deeds in this lifetime, because of the ownership and rulership of your 3rd house and your 10th house. So I would say friends, the transit of Mars is actually going to start covering the right points in the transit right from the beginning of the next year. So as you can see over here that next year from the month of January, Mars is going to be transiting in your 10th house, making you empowered enough, putting you in a position of power and authority. So I would say friends, if you actually want to sow seeds of some positive development, or want some opportunity, some new role, some new responsibility, so the next year will start with these kind of circumstances, with these kind of possibilities, that it is going to put you in a position of power. And even friends, moving ahead from the month of February, when Mars is going to be in your 11th house, and most importantly friends, in the month of March, when your 10th house lord and the 3rd house lord is going to be exalted, connected with, conjunct with Saturn in your 12th house. So I would say friends, the month of January till March, specifically the month of March, is going to put you in a position of power. I would say friends, for all of those people in whose case any sort of spiritual austerity is getting qualified, you have been working hard to establish a business in foreign land, you have been working hard to settle down in foreign land or foreign residentship, immigration, concerns of that. So I would say friends, the month of March is actually going to be the time to look out for. And not only that friends, even the months of May, when Mars, your 10th house lord, is going to be transiting your 1st house, and the month of June, when your 10th house lord is going to be conjunct with Jupiter in the 2nd house of your financial gains. So I would say friends, this year Mars is actually going to support you in all of your endeavors. Your career and the matters of your profession is actually going to take a positive leap. I'm not seeing you guys falling in a rut or being in doldrums. I'm seeing you guys taking a leap ahead and being in command of your professional endeavors, because of the combined influence of Rahu in your 3rd house and Mars taking a positive turn in the transit, covering prominent houses of growth and development and consolidation. So I would say friends, next year is going to be creating some very good energy. Remain very much proactive and very much welcoming, even towards some sort of conflicting situation, even some sort of competitive situation, because the planetary vibration and energy is definitely going to make you empowered enough to withstand any sort of difficulty. The only time to remain watchful is that friends, the months of July and August, when your 10th house lord is going to be conjunct and empowered, conjunct with the planet Rahu in your 3rd house. So I would say friends, refrain from taking any impulsive, any reckless decision. Try not to get into conflicts with your bosses, and just refrain from taking any aggressive stance in any of the important matters of the life when your 10th house lord is going to be strong and conjunct with Rahu. So those months. But apart from that, friends, the next year is actually going to be creating some very good energy for positive professional development. Moving ahead, friends, now regarding the matters of your 11th house. So friends, as you can see over here that your 11th house lord will be either in the first quarter is going to be transiting in your first house, and afterwards it is going to enter your second house. So the good part and the beauty over here is that for all of you guys, that all of your undertakings, all of your association, all of your aspirations are actually going to reap some financial benefit and reward as well. So I will not be surprised that the life and circumstances put you on the spotlight or put you or make you center of attention in any gathering, in any group. So that kind of energy, like the whole attention of any group engagement or activity is coming on to you. And even from the perspective of some gains, some opportunities, this year is actually going to be creating some very positive energy for all the Aquarius Ascendant natives. And lastly, friends, regarding the matters of your 12th house, so like the way I have already said this thing, friends, just because Saturn is going to be transiting in your 12th house. So friends, try to understand the importance of isolation. A lot of knowledge and wisdom is gained in the mode of self-introspection or in the mode of isolation. So I would say that appreciate the circumstances or situation which will generate next year. You cannot be all the time looking out for the window to release your energy or people to hang out with. So I would say because of the presence of Saturn, and that too in the Dhanishta Nakshatra, so you might not even realize, but the kind of enjoyment which your whole aura, your whole persona craves for, you might not be able to find that or experience that in a group setting, rather than being isolated, gone to a beach, having your book in your hand, reading it, sipping your coffee. So that kind of energy is getting generated. So I would say, rather than battling with it, fighting with it, embrace it, because isolation next year, the mode of self-reflection and introspection can actually give you some good insights regarding the growth and development of your life. And friends, with the influence of Saturn in your 12th house, I would say it is a very good energy to shed out all the old habits, all the old association which might be draining you of your energy, and it is a very auspicious time to remain in the pursuit of gaining spiritual knowledge of any form. So that is something, friends, which I wanted to say as a part of my insights, my take for the next yearly prediction for all the Aquarius Ascendant native. I will conclude this video on the same note with which I started it, that it's my blessings, it's my prayers and my wishes that Lord Ganesha's grace and blessing shall shower upon you. All of your wishes shall come true. You will be put forth in a position of power. New opportunities shall come to you, and you will be able to make a difference in the life of other people as well because of your good deeds next whole year. So for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.